The crucifixion story is one of many trials and tribulations, turns. It's a story of forgiveness, of salvation, of relationship, of abandonment, of distress, of triumph, and of reunion. We know the accounts of Judas, who betrayed Christ. We know the accounts of Peter, who denied Christ 3 times before the crowd. But we rarely focus on the maiming and the torture and the torment of the physical body of Christ. There was a tradition that at the feast, the governor would bring out 2 accused and put one here and ask the crowd, whom shall we release? Here, Jesus, the Christ, the King of the Jews, and here, Barabbas. The crowd chose Barabbas. So here, Jesus, accused, is disrobed, maimed, beaten, tortured, tormented, and then a scarlet wrap was put over him. Then a crown of thorns was put on his head, and a reed in his right hand. And then they began to shove him and move him and shove him and bruise his body, all the time spitting and spewing on him. Some even took the reed out of his right hand and whipped him and beat him and tormented with it. Then they stripped him of his robe, and as he moved, carrying the cross, the great agony was there that he had fallen, he'd fallen. And there was Simon from Cyrene in North Africa, who was chosen to be the one to pull that big cross up to a place called Golgotha. There, they hung him high, and they stretched him wide, and they beat him and bruised him and put nails in his hands. They even put a little drink of concoction together and put it up to his lips. They tore his clothes. And there above his head was a sign that said, the King of the Jews. But we forget the part of the story where you are to his right and I am to his left. And as he looked and saw us, in my theologically sound and biblically based imagination, I believe that he looked over and winked at you and winked at me and said, it's going to be all right after a while. All the pain and the agony that he was facing, that he felt, he had enough compassion to look to you and to look to me, to comfort just a little. And then he uttered the words, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. A little while later, he says, truly, I say to you, looking at you and looking at me, today you will be with me in paradise. And then he looked down from the cross. Oh, blessed Mother Mary there, and the disciple whom he loved. And he looked at old John and said, and he looked at his mother Mary, and he said, "Woman, behold your son. Son, behold your mother." And then we felt the utter shake of the cosmos as he yelled out, "My God! My God! Why have you forsaken me?" And as the time ticked, we heard the utterance, "I thirst." And it seemed that time stood still until he said, "It is finished." And then, like only Jesus could do, he uttered, "Father, into your hands I commend